It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. Welcome and good morning. Thanks so much for being here. All right. I just saw this story, and I like this story.
Okay.
And Fox News had it at 12:30 a.m.
All right.
This morning. So, and I just read this, and I started laughing.
Mm.
When Democrats fight, are you ready?
Okay.
New Jersey mayor floats reverse congestion pricing toll in response to New York City's congestion pricing.
Okay.
New Jersey has the same opportunity to push the buttons that New York is pushing against us, said Jersey City Mayor Stephen, is it Fulop, I think? Mm. He's a Democrat, by the way.
Mm.
A New Jersey mayor is proposing the idea of a reverse congestion pricing toll after New York City implemented its controversial congestion pricing toll last week. Jersey City Mayor, Stephen Fulop, who was also running for governor, floated the idea. New Jersey has the same opportunity to push the buttons that New York is pushing against us. We could do that to them, but the goal is to get a table to have a reasonable solution. The mayor said he believes reverse congestion pricing is the appropriate response to New York City's new toll, which imposes fees on vehicles that enter busy parts of Manhattan as a way to encourage people to take the subway. Did you see that in those areas, people aren't leaving their parking spots?
Right. Yeah.
There's plenty of crossings between Staten Island, New York, and more. There's plenty of opportunities to have the same sort of impact fee that New York is putting on New Jersey. He said he believes the money made from reverse congestion pricing should fund New Jersey's mass transit system, which has suffered from delays and cancellations. My view is that the New Jersey Transit is a terrible product, and it should be invested in more. And until you get a reliable transportation system in New Jersey, you can't responsibly think that people are going to take the trains. But this was an opportunity to get hundreds of millions of dollars into New Jersey Transit, and I think the governor just took an easy political approach. There was initially the possibility for New Jersey to receive hundreds of millions of dollars from New York City's new toll, but that fell through amid litigation. The details are not finalized, but he said gantries or toll sites could be stationed outside the tunnels and bridges in New Jersey. He said similar to congestion pricing, there may be exemptions or crossing credits. It is unclear. See, he should have made this clear to begin with. It is unclear if New Jersey residents would be required to pay that toll to re-enter their home state, like some New Yorkers do for congestion pricing.
Right.
Well, if you're complaining because New Jersey people are being taxed when they go over to New York, and that's wrong, you taxing them on the way back is not going to make them happier.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like his concern is the actual taxpayers of Jersey City and New Jersey. It's that he just wants the cash, too.
Well, get on board, right?
Yeah, get on board. When liberals fight, when Democrats fight, will you tax you? Well, you're taxing our people? Well, we'll show you. We're going to tax those same people again.
Aha. How dare you tax them?
Because he didn't
That's our job.
Because the story makes it, he didn't make it clear that he was, because I was like, okay, so you're going to exempt New Jersey people coming back, and it's going to be certain license plates or what? And I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if tolls can, I guess you could find a way to do it.
So.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
We have the technology.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't say that. So he's saying, well, we're going to put tolls and tax. We're so ticked off that you're taxing our people. How dare you tax our people when we can't tax them? We're going to tax them too.
And it's our job to tax our people.
And then there will be fairness.
Equity and taxation.
Wow, that's fairness.
Mm-hmm. Instead of DEI, EIT. Equity in taxation.
Well, I just saw that story and I was reading. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Nowhere in the story does it say I'm going to exempt New Jersey residents or Jersey City residents or whatever.
Right.
It just says we'll get them. We'll get our cash.
Right.
If you're taxing them, we'll double
It's like a
tax
bidding
them.
war for taxing.
I know.
They're wrong for taxing that amount. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't imagine.
I just shook my head with that one.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
By the way, I just saw that the Alberta premier met with Trump.
Yeah.
Discussed energy. Apparently, it was a really good meeting.
Yeah. Good. Good. So when we take Canada, it'll be easy.
Did you? Well, the thank goodness the president-elect has not said anything more about the 51st state. I think it was after we told him no.
Right.
It was us here from Red Eye because we said no. We don't need two Democratic senators from the state of Canada.
Well, don't hold the first election until after you deport all the liberals from Canada. Deport them. But we're from here. Not more. You got to go. You got to get on the plane. Where are you going? Where are you taking us? We don't even know yet. Maybe it's not going to be Greenland. We know that.
Well, you see, the president of Greenland,
Yeah.
Wants to talk to Trump about it.
Right.
Well, think about it. Because the assumption from liberals is that everybody hates the United States.
Right.
But think about this. Think about you can become a territory of the United States. You still govern yourself.
Right. Yeah.
You still govern yourself.
Yeah. Right.
You're still autonomous, but a territory with all the benefits that come with being a territory of the United States.
It's a win-win. Come on, you're Greenland. Come on.
And what would the cash in? Here's the question. How much is Greenland worth? Because nobody has discussed price yet. And remember, we're trying to save $2 trillion. Well, okay, Elon Musk has downplayed that. It's not going to be $2 trillion. How much is Greenland worth?
I'd say roughly 100,000.
Now, Trump better be very careful, or Greenland better be very careful, because if they put out, basically an MSRP or
yeah. Well, they can't negotiate because then,
or an appraisal.
Letitia James will come back again.
Well, I'm going to say if they do an appraisal and say we're worth this, and Trump they strike the deal in New York City, all of Greenland could end up being sued by New York.
Right.
Greenland's not worth that.
Everybody knows that. The judge will say,
everybody knows it.
Not even worth $1 million. And just raking Greenland over the coals again and again. They're probably not even worth 50,000. What are you talking about? Hey, what are the comps for Greenland? Let's see if Zillow can do that. Yeah.
Zillow,
Yeah.
Greenland.
Just type in Greenland at Zillow, see if it comes up. Yeah, it's fun talking about all that, but strategically, it's actually a very interesting conversation. But quite frankly, money's not going to be involved because Greenland, if we want it, we're going to take it. Yeah, it's like that scene in So I Married an Axe Murderer, where LaPaglia is trying to commandeer the car of what's his name, Charles.
Oh, Charles Grodin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then Grodin just looks up and goes, "No." Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's it really is interesting when you get into the conversation about it. But getting back to Alberta, that was the entire conversation about the XL pipeline.
Yep.
And also importing more or having an even stronger relationship with Canada. They're already number one in terms of the countries we import oil from. But it's important that we have a long-term strategy to maintain that. We have enough. We have a ton in the reserves in the ground here in the U.S., but you still want that relationship with Canada.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and President-elect Trump met on Saturday, discussed the mutual importance of U.S.-Canada energy relationship and the hundreds of thousands of American jobs supported through the exports from Alberta. Over the last 24 hours, I've had the opportunity to meet President Trump at Mar-a-Lago last night and at his golf club this morning. She wrote on X, we had a friendly and constructive conversation during which I emphasized the mutual importance of the U.S.-Canada energy relationship, specifically how hundreds of thousands of American jobs are supported by energy exports from Alberta. She continued saying that she had similar discussions with several key allies of Trump's incoming administration in which she became encouraged to hear about their support for strong energy and security relationship with Canada. On behalf of Alberta, I will continue to engage in constructive dialogue and diplomacy with the incoming administration and elected federal and state officials of both parties, and will do all boy, this is political here. And now this is when you say, well, this is politics. This is politics. This is discussing an issue of substance when you're a politician. Technically, is not my view of being political. This is when you're trying to please both sides. And we'll do all I can to further Alberta's and Canada's interest. I know where her interests are, and her interests lie a lot more where Trump interests are.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
she'll talk to both sides, but she knows. I guarantee she wasn't for the axing of the XL pipeline by Biden.
Right.
The United States and Canada are both proud and independent nations. Well, not everybody in America is proud. The left hates America. So,
right. Yeah.
And independent nations with one of the most important security alliances on Earth and the largest economic partnership in history. We need to preserve our independence while we grow this critical partnership for the benefit of Canadians and Americans for generations to come, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You saw that, what's his name? Trudeau was on with Jen Psaki.
I read about it, but I didn't watch it.
It was nothing there. It was it was a love fest.
Right. Two people with no arguments and no future. I've seen that
before. Her show is bad.
Yeah,
it really is bad.
It's horrible.
I mean, it's
yeah. She may be the reason they're selling MSNBC. The sole reason.
Did Don Lemon take off at her?
Probably. Give him a minute.
Oh my.
Yeah.
And we haven't even discussed it yet. Did we? Yeah, we did briefly, but I mean the fallout of Biden laughing and joking.
Oh my gosh.
With Trump at the funeral.
Oh yeah, and Obama, having the nice moment.
What'd I say?
You said Biden.
Oh, I meant Obama.
Yeah.
I meant Obama. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that was that's Lemon. That's what Lemon was going off on, but
and so is Lawrence Larry.
Yeah.
I mean Charlemagne.
Yeah.
He's just like the hypocrite. Well, he's going crazy. You called him Hitler, and you're not treating him like Hitler.
Right.
You didn't really mean it.
Right.
You're calling somebody Hitler, and you don't believe they're Hitler. Right. Why are you doing that?
Right.
You hurt our cause Americans didn't believe you. You hurt our liberal cause. For what? To get an extra name call? You felt emotionally better?
Right.
And then you're laughing with them?
And this isn't like two ex-presidents, right? It's
Yeah,
not. It's.
right.
I mean, technically they were, but Trump has another 4 years coming, and now a week. But when Bush 43, when W and Michelle became buddies, and it was like, okay, yeah, we know, because it was in the past, right? There is no threat from George W. Bush anymore to the left.
Oh, right, exactly.
And
yeah.
But Trump is incoming, and it's Trump.
And Obama was responsible for everything that happened.
Exactly.
In this campaign. He was directing.
He's the demon, and now he's going to be back in the White House, and you're yucking it up.
Yeah, you're laughing, everything else, and you agree with everybody else that he's a threat to democracy and Hitler,
right,
and a fascist, and
right,
all the other blah, 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 yada, yada, yada,
exactly,
BS that you were throwing out.
Exactly.
It was only BS. You really didn't mean it.
You didn't mean it. You were
and we
about
lost the election because you went over the top.
Right.
People didn't believe he was Hitler.
Right.
You were using political rhetoric that hurt you, and now you're laughing with the guy.
Wow.
I love that one.
I do too.
866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
A series of USDA reports to open January. Friday's releases included the latest on quarterly grain stocks and winter wheat seedings, as well as final numbers for fall harvested crop production. First year-over-year stock estimates reveal a 1% reduction in corn stored from December of 2023, while both soybeans and wheat stocks were up as of December 1st from the prior year. Beans stored in all positions up 3%, wheat stocks up 10%. Also up year-over-year, rice stocks by 1%. Winter wheat planted acreage is up 2% from this time last year at over 34 million acres. Hard red winter plantings at 24 million acres, making up most of that. Final USDA estimates for production of last year's crops include corn production down 3% year-over-year, soybeans up 5% from 2023, and cotton production up 19% from the prior year. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90 Red Eye on Red Eye Radio.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Just interesting what you just told me there during the break. We didn't expand on it, but you said it to me. You said, "Wow, there are so many articles on Gavin Newsom out there, and I can't find a positive one."
Yeah, they're all over the place.
You would think that. I'm going to start searching now too to see if there's if now we have got the basic narrative. Look, it's climate change. There's nothing we can do about it except it.
Right.
Seems to be the default position of so many on the left.
Right.
The climate, this just shows how much climate change is so bad, and we need to stop blaming people and increase taxes in order to stop climate change. But when you talk about specifically Gavin Newsom or even Mayor Bass, except for I saw the one actor that was saying, it's racism. She's being criticized because it's racist. It's like, you're not going to win that one.
No.
But I'm going to start looking at it, too, to see if anybody out there, any columnist or the media tries to boost Newsom.
Right.
And I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to go looking for it also.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, I was going through, Eric. I went through just a bunch of I went through to Real Clear Politics. Went through about, I don't know. I went through Real Clear Politics, Real Clear whatever.
Yeah,
because they have more than one page, and I, just like you said, I can't find one positive article on Gavin Newsom.
no, there isn't any.
one.
There aren't any that I've been able to find on him and basically how he's performing as governor during this whole thing. NBC, I think it was, that did the Newsom response to Trump's disinformation. And it's like, okay. Still, it's not on the job that he is doing, that Governor Newsom is doing. Another story, I forget where it was. Newsom says Trump isn't returning his calls. Okay. I haven't seen any of the liberal media defending the job that Newsom, and I don't know how you would do that. I don't think anybody wants to grab that falling sword. You know, who wants to be if you're a media group, you don't have to defend him, and you shouldn't. Nobody should. That's on him. And I don't think he can. He failed miserably over the weekend trying to. And everything, I mean, he really comes off as a poser. He really comes off as somebody who's just worried about, I think that's why the Mel Gibson comment when he was on with Laura on Fox News, spend less money on hair gel. Quit worrying about the optics.
When he was jumping up and down,
did
you see the one interview he was doing? He was jumping up and down, and his shoulders were going back and forth, and he was like this smile, and you're like, people have lost everything. Don't get that look off your face.
Yeah.
Stop jumping up and down, or whatever he was, moving his shoulders up and down like he was sort of, I don't know, trying to keep rhythm to the music in the background, or there was no music.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm trying to be cool here as my shoulders go up. And it was weird.
What you expect to see is a governor who's so tired they can barely stand up. They look tired because of all the coverage.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
The job at hand that they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, this is a history-making set of wildfires here. The Palisades fire is going to be talked about for generations. And when you have something like this and you're the governor, people want to see you look exhausted in the only way that's it's going to happen. That's because you're doing the work required. You're constantly on the phone coordinating with anybody and everybody that's involved in putting out these fires, and you don't see that. You see that with DeSantis in Florida before and after hurricanes. You see that from governors like DeSantis because they're doing the job.
And if Newsom's looking for a Democrat to model himself after, Bill Clinton, he always looked tired, whether he was or not, and you could just start out everything that you say, Governor, this seems to be, things are really bad here. Anything you have to say to the citizens? I never worked so hard in my life.
Exactly.
All right, but I was looking for a negative article, just going through Real Clear Politics, because Real Clear Politics has just tons of editorials from both sides of the aisle.
Right.
And I come upon favorability ratings of all U.S. political leaders.
Oh.
I went, I haven't checked that out in a while.
All right.
This would be interesting. And the choices you have: Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Harris, Mike Johnson, Hakeem Jeffries, Schumer, and McConnell.
Okay.
Take a guess of all those politicians, who has the highest favorability rating in the United States right now?
Yeah.
Donald Trump. You probably can say from last to first, right?
Easily.
That old saying, the team, last to first. Last to first.
It is
he leads.
the political comeback.
Now, what the argument would be, but he's not a political leader right now, not for another week.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, put him on a stage versus Biden.
But I saw is the transition. Did I find? Let me just see. The transition favorability is just huge.
Yeah. Well, again, he looks very presidential.
Okay, I lost it here. But they had the transition, and it was, like 13 points. He's up.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, and the discussion's going back and forth now. One reconciliation bill or two reconciliation bills. I just sense you're going to see two. I think you want to hit the border. You want to hit anything to do with the border, crime, energy. Yeah. Those are things that are easily passed. The tax stuff, because now they're debating on, right now it's for the SALT cap.
Mm-hmm.
At the minimum would be, because this I didn't know, the SALT cap minimum is $10,000, but it's also $10,000 if you're a couple.
Yeah, right.
They want to move that to $20,000
for couples.
For couples,
okay.
For couples, right?
Okay.
So that would be that's the minimum.
Right.
They think they're going to go further on it, though.
Yeah.
But still, there's going to be a lot of back and forth on that one. You're probably going to have conservatives fight over that one. And
I think so.
And one of the things that was brought up, because this is where, though, you're going to have, if they wish to lift the cap completely, then you're going to have people go after Trump and Vance, because you can make the case this is a rich person's tax. And you make the case by saying anybody who's in, for example, if you're in that, the top 1% in New York, for example, and you have very high state income taxes, the deduction is 37% off federal. That's a great argument to make political argument to make if you're going to hit them on, okay, this benefits the rich.
Right.
And that's why those states, even Republicans in those states, want that, because they want, well, I don't know if they're going to get, if you're in New York, I don't know how much of the top 1% is voting Republican. Maybe they will start. I don't know, but there it is. Capping SALT was a consensus cause among fiscal conservatives for years before the 2017 law. Former House Ways and Means Chairman Paul Ryan and Kevin Brady rallied the GOP against the deduction. The unlimited SALT subsidy was an incentive for spendthrift governors to raise taxes in those states, since a voter in the top tax bracket who paid $100 more to the state could turn around and get $37 back from Uncle Sam. So it's a way that blue states can skyrocket their taxes and take money from the federal government by doing so. But yet a small club of Republicans think their survival depends on lifting the cap. Many of them prodded Mr. Trump to embrace SALT during last year's campaign, and he obliged at a rally in New York, pledging to restore the deduction in his second term. The promise seems to have made little difference in congressional races. Several pro-SALT Republicans lost their seats.
Oh.
See, 1, 2, 3 in New York, 1, 2, 2 in California. Raising the deduction will help more Democrats than Republicans in Congress. The pledge to restore SALT swayed few voters because its benefits flowed to a fairly small group. About 10% of filers now itemize their deductions. So that's it. But apparently Trump's already agreed to just raise that one portion, $20,000 for couples. But they say that's still up for negotiations. But that's still one of the reasons tax policy gets so complicated with all the stuff that they wish to do.
Well, it was kind of complicated, or complicated rather, in selling the drop when they wanted to cap. Years ago, they had to go out and say, I mean, it was really conservatives that were pushing it, saying we need to do this because it helps blue states, and we don't need to be footing the bill for blue states.
Right.
The argument remains. Yet you had a handful of, again, Republicans, relatively speaking, get hit because of that in those blue states. And probably a handful of Republicans in red states got hit by it too. But that, where they have a state income tax in those blue states, that's a great argument. Both sides would have to campaign for that item to really make it. I mean, for it to really shape up the way, I guess, that Trump wants it to go.
Well, and I think one of the things is, especially since the promotion of cutting $2 trillion, that when you finally get this budget done, whatever the reconciliation bill is, you don't want the CBO coming and saying this is going to add $1 trillion to the budget over the next 10 years. You've just lost your moral high ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's something they need to be concerned about. How do we make this thing so when it's viewed that, remember, we're the ones that made the big promise that we're going to be the cutters.
Right. Well,
now they didn't. We said,
and the liberal media will start paying attention again to the CBO and their
well,
story.
exactly right.
On every move.
Now I don't know how concerned the public is on it, because the public, you and I talked about this before. The whole thing of cutting $2 trillion that came from Doge, the public wasn't asking for it.
No.
Public wasn't screaming for it.
No.
This was something that came up as this is what we're going to do to bring sanity back. It has to be done, but it wasn't something the public was screaming for in this election.
Right.
That wasn't an issue.
Right.
A federal judge in Kentucky, blocked the Biden administration's attempt to redefine sex in Title IX as gender identity, striking down the change nationwide. U.S. District Court, Eastern District of Kentucky, Northern Division made the ruling in Cardona versus Tennessee on Thursday. The court order is a resounding victory for protection of girls' privacy in locker rooms, for the freedom to speak biologically accurate pronouns. Let me just I want to get to what the judge actually said here, because it was really interesting. When Title IX is viewed in its entirety, it's abundantly clear that the discrimination on the basis of sex means discrimination on the basis of being a male or female, the court opinion reads. As this court and others have explained, expanding the meaning of on the basis of sex to include gender identity turns Title IX on its head.
Exactly. Well, it's what I've been saying for a long time. If anyone can belong to a protected group simply by saying so, then there are no protected groups. It is really, that would be dissolving Title IX and the Civil Rights Act altogether.
866-90-RED-EYE.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Think about that. All the time the left was trying to convince you that a biological man could be a biological woman if the man says so, or vice versa. And we went, come on, you can't sell this. Legally, you cannot change Title IX because it was about biological sex. And we knew eventually this day would happen when a group of judges would come on and say, no. It turns it on its head. It's biological male and biological female.
Right.
And so they just went boom, and there really wasn't an uproar at all. They'll try to appeal it, but if it gets up to the Supreme Court, that's not going to pass.
No, it's not. It isn't.
So, in essence, it's dead. So all this fight over all this time and all the insanity and all the bullying and intimidation of women and the threats to women, just boom, gone.
Right.
And nobody's going crazy.
No.
It's like, sorry,
No.
you guys can't say it.
Right.
Now, again, they may be waiting till next Monday.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
We're not going to protest unless Trump's in office.
Right.
It still may happen. But
I guess we'll see.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.